guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Yes. All right. It's a Statements Monday here. And Judd, Declan and I would like to just do like 2 hours of WrestleMania statements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? Can we just? I mean, you're welcome to hang around. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin making his return.
Now,
Dude, 19 years. 19 years. I didn't think they were going to ring the bell.
What happened? I thought you guys were so down on Vince and WrestleMania.
Well, still
you told
down
me
on
the last
Vince.
time I saw you, you didn't care.
That
You
hasn't
didn't care.
changed. I made my brother watch a wrestling event for the first time in 20 years over the weekend.
I thought this was
Yeah,
no
he
longer
tweeted me
wrestling.
and he was like, I can't believe Declan forced me to watch this. It was literally one of the great. The night one of WrestleMania was one of the best of all time.
Well, hold on a second. What's happened here? Like, seriously, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, you guys said you were out. You might not watch it. Like, what's changed?
Well, it's WrestleMania. So, like,
But
it's
you
always
also
going to
told me
drag
you
you
didn't
back
care.
in a little bit.
No, I mean, WrestleMania, you always watch WrestleMania.
You always watch WrestleMania.
No matter what.
Oh, I thought you guys were threatening not to watch it. I shouldn't listen to you guys.
No,
you're telling
what?
me.
Why would we ever not watch WrestleMania? We can still be mad at the product and still watch
You were
the biggest event.
One of you said last week on the podcast, I probably won't watch.
I mean, you can sit there and say, you know, the NFL is unwatchable this season because of this. You're still going to watch the Super Bowl.
Still going to watch
pretty
the
much what it's
football.
like.
Yeah. Still going to do it.
I shouldn't listen to you guys anymore.
No, well, you should actually. You should watch WrestleMania. All right, let's get to statements here. Okay,
No,
the people have come to listen to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Rave about
Okay.
I would have said a few weeks ago the fifth best team in the Western Conference. I think they're better than the Nuggets. I'm going to say the sixth best. You know what? Statement number one. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the sixth best team in the Western Conference. They are, and my real statement was going to be, I was panicking last week on the show a little bit. Jade McDaniels is going to come back. He got some good medical news. Malik Beasley came back.
Yeah.
They beat Denver, one of the biggest wins of the season. I feel like the Wolves are starting to get back on track. They beat they gave up like 40 points in the fourth quarter, sort of garbage time against the Rockets, but they mostly beat the crap out of the Rockets. It feels like maybe they're over their little blip from the last couple of weeks. I am breathing a sigh of relief for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Feeling pretty good.
The roller coaster just continues. That game Friday night was so much fun.
It was a blast.
That was a big time game. They never, ever won that game for a good 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course Towns gets into foul trouble, and it just man.
Poor Jim Pete's going crazy.
He needs to stop with some of that stuff. Like, there's a one where he's running by and he tries to tip the ball out of Jokic's hand or whatever. He hits him in the face, and then a very clear foul. So
yes,
would it be nice if Towns could stay out there for 35 or 40 minutes as needed without getting into foul trouble? Yes, that's going to be a thing, especially as the games ramp up again. But the fact that Ant Edwards can just dig in and take over in the fourth quarter, and and then what he did against the Rockets too. I mean, the Rockets are terrible, but I love it. They could have easily just gone into a funk for the rest of the year, and we'll see what happens against the Clippers. But yes, that was a blast on Friday night in that win over the Nuggets.
In fact, that leads perfectly into my statement because I want to talk about the aforementioned Ant. And here's my statement. Greatness when it matters most is so much fun. Ant Edwards had 3 quarters at Denver where he couldn't hit the broadside of a bleeping barn. He looked awful. And there have been a litany of not just Wolves, but Minnesota athletes who once that happened would have just been sort of lost. Bad night. I let my team down, but Ant, fourth quarter. I think he didn't miss a shot. It's incredible. Like the ability, and I know the comeback is, well, why couldn't he have started to play better in that game earlier? But put that comeback aside for just 1 second and think about the fact that this kid or this guy had 3 quarters in this huge game, not like some arbitrary Wednesday night game in December. He had 3 quarters on the road where he was just awful. He didn't quit. He continued to shoot, but then he got hot. Mm-hmm. Like these are things that we could certainly dissect and criticize, but they're also things that to me scream special.
That's one of my favorite things about him is like he can. I think he was like 1 for 10 or something in that game awful. Early on, But then you look and you're watching the game and he's active defensively. He's not moping. He's grabbing rebounds. And then you look in the box score. It's like, he's 1 for 10 offensively, but he has like 6 rebounds or 7 assists or a couple of steals or whatever it is. And then he comes down like he's 7 of 8, and he hits shots in the fourth quarter with the same level of confidence. So he's going to have to, if they get into an actual playoff series, let's say they beat the Clippers and they play the Grizzlies in the first round. Yep. They're going to need him to have at least 1 or 2 games where he just takes over in the fourth quarter like he did against the Nuggets,
right,
and knocks down like 4 3-pointers and just does his Ant thing. He absolutely can take over games. It's not an every night thing. Like maybe it can be at some point down the road because he's still only 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if that was a preview of things to come, even once or twice in a playoff series, sign me the freak up.
Oh God, that was fun.
I got a Wolves statement for you. I got a Wolves one for you here.
Okay, all right.
All right. The Wolves' big 3 is back. The Wolves' big 3 right here is back. And not an ass kicking, but a big win over the Nuggets. They also beat up on the Rockets on Sunday night. The last 2 games for the Wolves' big 3, 157 points combined.
Mm-hmm.
Cat with 60, Ant with 51, and D'Lo finally getting back on track with 46 points. I mean, the Wolves are putting up 130 points these back-to-back games. I don't know if that's going to be the case come playoff time. But you need your big 3, right? This is the Wolves' big 3 to rise up when it matters the most. And they got a big win over Denver. Yeah, things maybe got a little close against a really bad Rockets team on Sunday night. But regardless of those 3 players scored some big-time buckets, and you're going to need them because you can't have D'Lo just chucking up bricks in the postseason. So the Wolves' big 3 is back.
Let's get
Howell.
it. Let's get it. They still need how they got unlucky. Not that it would have mattered either way, but like LeBron is banged up and didn't play today. So the Nuggets probably would have beat the Lakers either way, but
the Lakers need to go home.
And now I think they're aren't they a game and a half back because the Spurs won?
Yeah, it's.
By the way, we're recording this on Sunday night, so if the standings, my guess is most people will be listening to this on Monday at the usual time, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
Bye, Lakers.
So all right,
back to you.
I agree, by the way. I think the big 3 is, like, they feel back on track. But here's my next statement. I already alluded to this. Jade McDaniels, with the high ankle sprain, got a great medical report on Sunday that he's very close to return. He was going to be reevaluated after whatever it was, length of time is. But that he's not coming back, like, immediately, but he's not going to be out for a prolonged period. That is a game changer for the Timberwolves if he can play against the Clippers, and it's a game changer if he can play in a playoff series. And I don't think you bring him back in 25 minutes a night. Maybe he comes back for a couple spurts for 15 minutes, but just the more you can get a guy in to grab some rebounds, to defend, to get a hand in a passing lane, someone to put on Paul George even for 15 or 20 minutes, you're going to have to run guys at him if you play the Clippers. So that's something to watch. If his health continues to trend the right direction, that is an ace in the hole addition for that playing game against the Clippers.
So if they are and they probably will be at this point, the 7th seed, they'll play host to the Clippers. If the Clippers beat them as the 8th seed, the Wolves will then play host to the winner of the 9-10 game. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of, I don't know.
And then they'll be in if they win that game.
Yes,
so
they'll be the 8th seed.
They'll be the 8th seed.
8th seed, okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's like a 90% chance that they get in.
Gotcha.
But you just don't want to. You don't want to get into the second playing game, nor do you want to play the Phoenix Suns in a playoff series. I don't think they're going to be favored at all. Yeah. Like regardless of who they play in the first round, but like the difference between the Suns and anybody else that you would play, Golden State's been hobbled, so you want to give yourself a chance in the first round, and the Suns would just be like, it would probably be a sweep. It would be a train wreck.
Good experience, though, Phil, for your club.
It will be, yeah. And also, like, too, speaking of getting banged up, okay, whether you're an NBA player or whether you're just sort of a weekend warrior rec league guy or gal, Mayo Clinic is here to examine your rickety knees or maybe some men's health issues that you may be having, and they are accepting new patients at the downtown, across from Target Center, Mayo Clinic Square. menshealth.mayoclinic.org. That's menshealth.mayoclinic.org. If you want to be seen by the same doctors and the same clinic as the pros are seen by.
Jade McDaniels.
There you go. menshealth.mayoclinic.org. All right, back to Judd. Statements.
Okay, if it would please the committee, I would like to transition to the Twins because opening day is scheduled for Thursday. Now, it might get moved to Friday because the weather on Thursday is supposed to be royally crappy. But nonetheless, at some point in time in the next week, we are going to get opening day in baseball. And so, after watching quite a bit of the Twins blasting the Orioles in Fort Myers today, I have one simple statement. Give me one season, and I will explain, of Byron Buxton being healthy.
Oh, my God.
Byron Buxton is crushing baseballs. Now, I know it's the spring. It's pitchers working on things. I understand that. But Byron Buxton has a body of work now built up in this league where we know if he can operate healthy, he is incredibly special. All I'm asking for at this point, I'm not asking for 5 years. I'm not being greedy. I just want a season where he sits out some games, but it's not because he's hurt. And when we see his games played at the end of the year, let's say it's 151 or something. I don't know. The point is, with the way that he is playing right now, I just want him to have an opportunity to continue on that path without a bad leg or without a bad shoulder or without a concussion. I want one season to see what this guy can truly do when he can put together that type of body of work, both in the field and at the plate.
Dude, I mean, he's the MVP if he plays 130 plus games.
I mean, I just want to see it, dude.
He is.
That's all I want.
But he's he's 28 years old. He's been in the major leagues for 7 seasons, and he's like scratching 90 games is an accomplishment for him. But he's the most fun player that I've watched in a Twins uniform probably in my life. So I don't know if older Twins fans would say like Tony Oliva or something, but I grew up with Kirby Puckett, but like as far as fun players to watch, yes. And yeah, like if he stays healthy, and by the way, the White Sox, like Lance Lynn's going to be out for a month now. The White Sox have a couple issues going on. The rest of the division is either tanking or just not good enough. So
yeah, you're right.
Actually, you know what? All right, I'll add a statement.
Come on, join the fun.
If you're the Twins right now, looking at Lance Lynn being out it's 4 weeks before you can pick up a baseball because of a knee issue, and then ramp up another. He's probably going to be out for 2 months, right? Go get Montas. The A's are trading everyone. They just traded Minaya to the Padres for no top 10 prospects organizationally. Call him. Pick up the phone. Like what? I don't want to hear like, the A's stopped engaging us, which was reported by The Athletic a few days ago. I mean, what? Don't stop now. You just signed Carlos
what does
Correa.
that even mean?
Go get Frankie Montas.
I tried the Oakland A's. They're not picking up. What should we do?
Got a busy stick.
I tried them. That's 100% right. Like,
I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you call him at this
mean?
point?
Yes,
like,
of course.
What's the hold up?
Of course, I call them. And what I don't get to is for Minaya, the Padres gave up their 12th and 26th prospects in that trade. Okay, an infielder and pitcher. The Twins' number 12 prospect is an outfielder by the name of Matt Wallner. Their 26th prospect is a right-handed pitcher by the name of Marco Rea. All right. In other words, I would have thrown a third guy in. Like, did I just give you 2 names where you're like, oh, no wonder the Twins couldn't do that deal?
No, I mean,
stop engaging. I'm with you on this.
I would give up a lot more for Montas than Minaya. Sure. I mean, Minaya has 1 year left on this contract.
But I would have taken Minaya if I could have gotten him for that package.
And like, think about this rotation right now. Joe Ryan, opening day starter, into Sonny Gray. I mean, Montas would be the best pitcher on this staff. So I just listen, and you could do it at the deadline too. But why would you want to risk having like Randy, a Randy Dobnak type or somebody out there, or Chris? You're going to run Chris Archer out there. Just don't mess around. Don't mess around. You've already committed. You've already gone this far. By the way, Carlos Correa is going to make more money in 2022 than the Oakland A's entire roster.
Yeah, it's
how about that?
complete joke.
And here's the thing, Oakland will still figure out a weird ass way to win 80 games. Even with a crap
I don't know about
roster.
that. I don't know about that now.
They will still figure out ways to milk these wins because that's Oakland, right? They're probably not going to be a lock to make the wild card, but they'll still figure out a way to be somewhat competitive.
The manager left too, though.
Down.
They got nobody left now.
Yeah.
They could be god awful.
And you know what?
Deserve it.
If I'm the Twins, and I heard the Padres are also potentially looking for an outfielder, can I interest you? My statement on my Twins statement here. Can I interest you in a Max Kepler? Can I interest you in an outfielder here? Because the Twins could definitely still use a starting pitcher. And look, I think the Padres have most of their 4 guns locked in here with Clevinger and Blake Snell, and obviously getting Minaya here. Joe Musgrove's still a really good pitcher for them, but they have a lot of depth that guys are being log jamming them out. And I would offer a Max Kepler there. Kepler's under a team-friendly deal. You could still take a chance on a nice starting pitching option that could be a nice bullet for you for a long, long time. And Kepler's a weird player, right? Kepler doesn't hit for average at all, but he has a good eye at the plate. He's got some pop. He's an athletic and solid right fielder. It also, if you were to move Max Kepler, it creates a problem. Well, you're going to start in right field. Well, you can plug in a Trevor Larnach, right? You could put Alex Kirilloff, spent some time at right field last year too. If I'm the Twins and I'm looking to get a legitimate starting pitcher between now and opening day, I think Max Kepler is the name that would honestly be that would make the most sense of moving on from.
If you're the A's, I don't know that the A's probably want much younger players than Max Kepler, though.
Yep.
They want a top prospect, yeah.
Yeah, they want someone who's 21 years old and they can have under team control for 6 years that doesn't already make whatever. What's Kepler making? $10 million or something like that?
Is making $6.7 million this year.
Yeah. I mean, I would trade Sano, Kepler. If a team thinks that they need some power, Miami has always got pitchers.
Sano hit a long home run today. Big blast.
Congratulations.
I think that plays in Miami. That plays wherever else.
Dude, I see the Sano apologists out there that the people that only care about home runs.
Or
there's all these other things in baseball.
Why do you care about strikeouts?
And home runs, by the way, are they're the more home runs being hit now in the last 5 years than at any point in baseball history. So guys who just hit home runs and don't do anything else. Here's one for you. Miguel Sano has been worth 9 wins above replacement in his 7-year career. Replacement meaning a Chris Parmelee level AAA player. But he hits bombs. Okay, but he's never driven in more than 77 runs in a season. He does not play great defense at first base, even though he looks fairly nimble for a guy his size. And he has the 4th worst strikeout rate in baseball history. So if some team comes calling and has a pitcher, I sell high off of his spring training bombs for God's sake.
100%. I hope he gets off to a great start. Trade him. Because here's the problem too. And this is basically true, I think, exclusively when it comes to pro sports in baseball. The more that the season progresses, the more he gets out of shape. So, he actually comes into camp, and I wouldn't say he's in great shape, but he comes into camp, but the problem is then you start to go play on the road, right? And you got the post-game spreads, and so that's one sport where you basically stand around a ton. So it's not like you're on a basketball court or skating so I actually think that if he gets off to a decent start, that's the time to try and pounce and trade him.
Yeah. All right, I gotta give you guys a wrestling statement. All right,
hit me.
So we're doing because you guys are accommodating my my travel schedule for my other work at Hubbard here this week. So we are recording this while night 2 of WrestleMania is happening. Mm-hmm. Stone Cold Steve Austin just came back out for night 2 and gave stunners to everyone, including Vince McMahon took a stunner, the absolute worst stunner. McMahon can barely stand up anymore, and it was just laughable. But Pat McAfee took an amazing Stone Cold stunner, full beer spraying out of his mouth. So here's my statement, all right? Declan and I have been ripping the WWE for God knows how long on this show. Lack of storylines. They're just sort of lazy. They're letting top talent go left and right. WWE is kind of back. That's my statement. Really? This weekend, Cody Rhodes, they bring Stone Cold Steve Austin in for his first match in 19 years. The WWE has me for a month. I'm in for a month. I will watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for the next month. They've brought me back in because of WrestleMania.
Didn't Rhodes leave? Didn't you guys tell me he had left?
It's a great story. So he left 6 years ago. He left the WWE because he's the son of Dusty Rhodes, who's more from your generation.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Dusty
Dusty
Great
Rhodes.
wrestlers of all time.
Yep.
And Cody was just kind of a mid to low card guy with the WWE, and he wasn't like a main event guy. And they had him doing this gimmick called Stardust, where he was just this sort of comical character at the end, and he sold the hell out of it. Like anything they gave him, he did well. But he said, "I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to leave the WWE, travel the world, travel the indies, and then eventually help to co-found what's now the number 2 wrestling company in the world, AEW. He was like the heart and soul of AEW.
Which you guys like, right?
Yes,
AEW.
love it.
Okay.
He built up the biggest competitor to WWE the WWE has seen in 20 years since they bought WCW. And then the whole story hasn't been told yet as to why he left AEW, but something happened internally. So he came back, first time in 6 years, to just a bonkers ovation from the crowd. Like he left as sort of a mid to low card guy, comes back as a main event caliber guy because of all the work he put in on the indies. It's a cool story. So they got me for a month. I'm back in. I'm excited. Congratulations, WWE. Great weekend.
I mean, it's WrestleMania, so like we're always going to be gravitating towards it, like we talked about on the top of the show. And if they want to just throw their fastballs here, like between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, which is like, the peak time of WWE's calendar year is between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Like that's when the eyeballs are naturally more there. Like the buzz is going to wear off. You know it's going to wear off, and you're going to be back to AEW, which is fine. Like AEW is a far superior product, and the Monday after Mania is always like kind of a must see because they still always bring someone back, and they always sometimes have wacky stuff planned the night after Mania. But I'm not back at all. And to be honest, here's my statement: watching Stone Cold was painful. Those knees,
what,
dude? Those knees could not hold up. It was painful.
He took a suplex on the concrete.
Yeah, that was great. But he was trying to do the stomp a mud hole in him. Watching that knee try to get up and hit him, it was painful. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it.
What?
I did not. I was withholding those takes.
It was
in the
nostalgia.
Text thread
It was nostalgia.
to share it on this show because I did not enjoy Stone Cold. It was painful.
Different places, I think. That's the key.
This was Judd. This was Peyton Manning's fluttering football in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's what this was. That's what this was, dude. It was the fluttering football.
Feels romantic.
Considering he broke his neck 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He's got bad knees, a bad back, a bad neck, and he's almost 60 years old. He looked damn good on Saturday night, and he paced it. I thought he was going to run out. I thought like he was going to get tired after 5 minutes.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die because
They were out there for like 20 minutes, and he took a suplex on the concrete at one point.
Look,
delivered a couple stunners. He also drank like 16 tall boy beers. Now he's strategic. Like he pours them all over his head and he doesn't really swallow any. But he literally opened like 16 beers during the course of the match.
A waste of beer. That's terrible.
It
Never
is a
waste a beer.
So
wasn't a fan, man.
Don't waste it.
Anyhow,
oh boy, there's dissension on.
Can't believe it. All right, it's fine. Whatever, dude. You don't like nostalgia. That's fine.
I love nostalgia.
Jonathan Harrison might be back.
I pay for Peacock
Jonathan
to
Harrison's
simply
music.
watch 1999 to 2003 wrestling. That I literally pay a service.
Who is
to
that
watch
coming to the door?
By God, it's John Harrison. It's John Bob. What's he doing here?
He just slammed Declan.
He went to the United. He's back.
Amazing. All right. Well, I guess I don't know if Federated can help your broken down knees as if you're Stone Cold, but they can help your business. Federated's all about maximizing the success of your business by minimizing risk. That's what they do, and they've done it for over 100 years. They've been a huge supporter and friend of Score North and Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily. So allow them to work their magic with your business. Federatedinsurance.com, and remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, you guys have some bonus statements coming down the pipeline. I got to go catch a flight. I'll see you guys probably from a hotel room this week in one of the